The origins of Yahweh, as per Romer's investigations, date back to the early Iron Age. The deity is believed to have surfaced either in Edom or in the northwestern region of the Arabian Peninsula, initially revered as a god of the wilderness, storms, and war. Over time, amidst a tumultuous spiritual landscape, Yahweh ascended to become the sole deity of Israel and Jerusalem. This transition was marked by intermittent successes and regressions, with other deities like the mother goddess Asherah gradually losing their prominence. It was only in the wake of a profound catastrophe, the destruction of Jerusalem and Judah, that the Israelites began to venerate Yahweh as the singular God of all, the creator of heaven and earth, who nonetheless declared a unique affiliation with Judaism. Romer's work, a masterstroke of investigative scholarship and exposition, shines a spotlight on questions of tremendous importance that seldom receive the attention they deserve. His contributions offer enlightening insights into the origins of a deity that has profoundly shaped human culture and history. As one of the world's preeminent experts on the Hebrew Bible, Romer's book, The Invention of God, stands as a testament to his scholarly depth and dedication. On one of the first pages of the book, Romer conveys a very clear piece of information. When we read the Jewish and Christian Bibles, as well as the Quran, we get the impression that this God has always been there, as he is the creator of heaven and earth. But looking closer, we find texts that admit the existence of other gods, as in the story of the conflict between a certain Jephthah, a military leader of an Israelite tribe, and Sikan, the king of Israel's eastern neighbors, which is reported in the book of Judges. While Judaism, followed by Christianity and Islam, proclaims the unity of a solitary God, reigning alone since eternity over heaven and earth, the Hebrew Bible itself testifies, to those who read it carefully, to its polytheistic roots. In fact, the God of Abraham, referred to by the three religions of the book, each in its own way, was not always unique. Historians and archaeologists are not concerned with the theological and faith implications of the supposed existence of a God. These researchers are interested in the monuments, artifacts, and historical evidence of culture and religion concerning the deities. They categorically state that there was not a single creator God of the heavens and earth as the Bible leads us to believe. They say that Yahweh actually proclaimed himself to be the one true God, usurping the reverence entrusted to other gods. It is well known that the Bible is far from being an original set of books, the result of a miraculous revelation from the mystery of existence. Today, historians and archaeologists understand the Bible differently. The world's most famous set of books is actually a compilation of several other records older than the Bible itself. Serious scholars from all over the world argue that other gods were worshipped in the regions where Yahweh was revered. They claim that the veneration of other gods was gradually prohibited and replaced by the worship of Yahweh, a self-proclaimed one true God. When we look at Yahweh and the Bible, not as a sacred narrative, but as a historical testament of religion, we can see that the Bible itself provides faithful testimony that Yahweh declared himself the one true God. Yahweh sought to diminish the attention given to other gods, even threatening all those who would challenge his power as the one true God and choose to worship other deities. But how could other gods exist? Was there a culture before the Bible where a contact with the gods could be traced? And the answer to this question is yes, there is. In 1849, an archaeologist and historian known as Sir Austen Henry Layard began excavations in the region that is now present-day Iraq. His expeditions were funded by the British Museum, reflecting the British interest in the cultural and historical treasures of the Near East during the Victorian era. At the time of the excavation, Nineveh, located in present-day Mosul, Iraq, was an uncharted archaeological site. Layard made a startling discovery, an entire library that was believed to have belonged to King Ashurbanipal II, containing around 30,000 to 40,000 clay tablets. The ruins of Nineveh were situated on two main mounds, Kuyunjik and Nebi Yunus. Kuyunjik, where the library was discovered, is the larger of the two. Layard, and later his assistant Hormuzd Rassam, found a large number of rooms filled with clay tablets. These tablets, upon later examination, turned out to be the royal library of King Ashurbanipal, the last great king of the Neo-Assyrian Empire. The discovery of the Library of Nineveh provided an unprecedented wealth of knowledge about the ancient world. The library contained a wide range of texts, from legal codes and administrative documents to literary works and scholarly treatises. Among the literary works were the Epic of Gilgamesh and the Epic of Creation, both foundational texts of Mesopotamian culture. The library's content reveals the scholarly interests of Ashurbanipal, who was unusual among ancient rulers for his interest in literature and his ability to read and write Akkadian and Sumerian, the languages of the tablets. These clay tablets belong to three civilizations whose histories intertwine: Sumerian, Akkadian, and Assyrian. The tablets provide a wealth of information about the customs and culture of the time. Among the tablets, there are documents on trade, laws, daily life, astronomy, mathematics, mythology, and religion. The clay tablets themselves are remarkable artifacts. Crafted from wet clay and inscribed with a stylus, they were then baked or left to dry in the sun. This technique preserved the tablets for millennia, enabling modern scholars to decipher and understand the complex societies of ancient Mesopotamia. The discoveries at Nineveh sparked a surge of interest in Assyriology, the study of the ancient Assyrian civilization, its language, history, and culture. The clay tablets from the Library of Nineveh are considered one of the greatest archaeological finds of all time, providing unparalleled insights into the civilizations of the ancient Near East. This vast collection of content became known as the Library of Nineveh. It is an exciting discovery. The first civilization in human history worshipped not a single god, but a pantheon of deities known as Anunnaki. These Anunnaki are a group of revered gods and goddesses by the Mesopotamian civilization, the Sumerians, Akkadians, and Assyrians. The Anunnaki are popularly known as those who from heaven came to Earth. They are often referred to as ancient astronauts or extraterrestrial beings. An exponent and expert on this topic is Zecharia Sitchin. According to Sitchin's books, the Anunnaki are said to have first come to 150,000 years ago. The Earth Chronicles series, written by Zecharia Sitchin, offers a fascinating exploration into ancient Sumerian cosmology, suggesting a radical interpretation of humanity's ancient past. Sitchin's series includes the book The Lost Book of Enki, which presents the narrative through the perspective of Enki, an Anunnaki deity. This work elaborates on the Anunnaki's supposed influence on the development of human civilization, their technological prowess, and their interactions with humanity. The book is a riveting exploration of these ancient tales, diving deep into the purported history of these alien visitors, their hierarchies, and their interactions with human beings. However, scholars argue that the correct definition of the term Anunnaki is the offspring of the princely ones, the descendants or children of the god Anu. Mainstream historians and archaeologists states that Sitchin had misinterpreted the Mesopotamian tablets, and they argue that this is pseudoscience. Traditional science states that Anu is the Akkadian name for the god An, who is the supreme deity of Sumerian culture. His name is intertwined with the universal principle and with the supreme deity himself, as the Father of the sky or the Father of the heavens. Anu is symbolized as a single star, and surprisingly, through the Maltese cross. According to the Sumerians, Akkadians, and Assyrians, these gods, the Anunnaki, are the creators of human beings. The records on the Mesopotamian tablets tell a story that intertwines with that of the Holy Bible, but they provide a much more comprehensive version. The tablets from the Library of Nineveh state that human beings were created by the Anunnaki to replace the heavy labor performed by the lesser gods known as Igigi. After this creation, the lesser gods rest, similar to the biblical God resting on the seventh day. The Bible, specifically in Genesis 1:26, states, "Let us make humankind in our image according to our likeness." This phrase has long been the subject of extensive interpretations, debates, and speculations among theologians, scholars, and enthusiasts alike. It is important to approach this question with a balanced and informed perspective, acknowledging the vast array of viewpoints that exist on this topic. Looking to this plural, we have to question ourselves. Is this a clue to understand the bigger picture? Is there a connection between the biblical God and the Anunnaki? Could we attribute the creation described in the Bible to the Anunnaki gods, those beings revered by the Babylonians? Could the term Anunnaki be the real meaning of the plural behind the name of God in the Bible? It is important to note that the Mesopotamian tablets and the biblical accounts belong to different cultural and religious traditions. While there may be some similarities in the creation narratives, it would be speculative to directly equate the Anunnaki with the deity of the Bible. Nevertheless, we have to consider that the concept of multiple gods and divine beings was prevalent in ancient Mesopotamian cultures, and the Anunnaki were considered a pantheon of gods. In contrast, the God depicted in the Bible is portrayed as a singular, omnipotent deity. Nevertheless, as we could observe during this video, maybe the God of the Bible, omnipotent deity. Nevertheless, as we could observe during this video, maybe the God of the Bible had been invented, as Thomas Romer states in title of his book. And there is a big reason for that. The patriarch of the monotheistic religions, Abraham, is traditionally understood to have been a citizen of the city of Ur in ancient Sumeria, a bustling metropolis that was one of the first cities in the world and a cradle of human civilization. Ur was an important Sumerian city-state in ancient Mesopotamia, located in the present-day Dikar province in southern Iraq. It was founded in the Ubaid period, approximately 6,500 to 3,800 BC. A major hub of Sumerian culture, noted for its advanced architecture, complex social structure, and significant contributions to art and literature. Ur was particularly known for its ziggurat, a massive step pyramid-like structure known as the Great Ziggurat of Ur. The ziggurat was dedicated to the moon god Nana, also known as Sin, the patron deity of Ur. The ziggurat was part of a temple complex that served as an administrative center for the city, as well as a shrine for the god. It was a significant place of worship and was likely used for various ceremonies and rituals. Nana was one of the most important gods in the Sumerian pantheon. He was the god of the moon, and was associated with wisdom and divination. Nana was the father of the sun god Utu and the goddess Inanna, who was a central figure in Sumerian mythology and religion. Beyond Nana, the citizens of Ur also revered other gods from the Sumerian pantheon, which included An, the sky god, Enlil, the god of wind and storms, and Ea or Enki, the god of water and wisdom, among others. These deities were part of a complex religious system that formed the basis for Sumerian society and culture. Abraham lived in Ur, and his life would have been shaped by a rich tapestry of Sumerian culture, traditions, and religion, which were suffused with numerous myths and legends. These myths, some of the earliest known to human history, would have been a constant presence in his upbringing, told and retold in community gatherings, family ceremonies, and religious rites. The Sumerians had a polytheistic belief system with a pantheon of deities who controlled various aspects of the natural world and human society. If we interpret the term aliens metaphorically, these deities, with their superhuman powers and often unfathomable motives, could indeed seem alien to human understanding. Given his exposure to these mythological figures, it is indeed plausible that Abraham's understanding of divinity and his eventual conception of a single, all-powerful God were influenced by his early experiences in Ur. However, it's also important to note that the transformation of Abraham's beliefs from polytheism to monotheism represents a significant theological shift that is a cornerstone of Abrahamic religions. This shift would have set him apart from his contemporaries in Sumeria and paved the way for the establishment of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. We may never know what have happened to this gigantic shift in this religious perspective.